How you doing again? I don't know if that stream was previously cut off, but I'm gonna start. I'm just gonna continue. What I was saying is that for us on the Caribbean, the South American plain, the Angolan descendants, the Congo descendants, the Mende, the Bantu, the Akans and Asantis, the well, I've recently learned the names of these tribes, so these are the ones I can call. What I'm saying is, we have been left in a particular disposition wherein we are kind of trapped in a prison system. Yes, that's what I like to call this modern society, a prison system, this Western society. It really is a prison system, and there is absolutely no way around that definition or description, because I'm gonna demonstrate it clearly within words, within the capability of the language that we've been given to speak. Now, this rhythmless language might bore you, it might bore me, but what? Like I've said, we've been put here against our will, and it's the most we have, and we have to make use of it. I'm speaking to those who went to school and understand every word I'm saying. I'm also speaking to those who didn't get to go to school, but you can still understand every word I'm saying. Right? Because we're intelligent people, we've had a chance at this modern, Western, Northern educative system. I do not rate it any bit, and I do not have any concern for any part of this rhythmless structure called the Latin's language. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate how we're in the prison system. Now, I'm sitting right now, I'm at home, but as far as I can call home, I do not really belong on this piece of land. The land I'm sitting right now is on a rented house. The house is a rented house, and it's on somebody else's land. Now, I was never given the opportunity to have my own land. I was never told, hey, look, more than concrete and some wood, go and go build your own house. That was never given to me. Not because my parents couldn't afford that to give to me, but because it wasn't given to them. Right? And it's impossible to blame them for that, because they did not voluntarily put themselves in the situation where their children would have to buy a house or rent a house on somebody else's land where they don't actually belong. You see, the yard I'm in, surrounded by a chain link fence. Now I can leave this fence voluntarily, but as soon as I step on the road, I'm no longer home, right? I can sit on the road corner, but what? I don't belong there. At any point, at any given point, for any reason, somebody can actually tell me that I cannot be where at that spot. If it's raining at that spot, right, and I'm nowhere near the house or home, where am I gonna go to shelter? Every single place within this area is coveted by someone, owned by someone, and if you step on the land, you would be considered trespassing. You will be trespassing, and it will be illegal, and someone can take action against you. Now, where we live in the southern hemisphere, it's still the northern hemisphere particular where I am, but it's on the southern continent. Where I live now is like, person don't really take that trespassing thing serious. You can actually go somewhere and build a little house or whatever. What I'm saying is, for you and 50 other people, let's say you want to move your whole family or community to somewhere, it's gonna cause a problem because you don't own that spot. Who owns it? The government owns it, and you would have to spend about 50 years receiving that sort of permission to have a community be built wherever you want it to be. Now, this government thing, let's talk about it some little bit. Some people look on government like say it's their you know what, I'm not gonna even take that road, because you see when you start talk about some people, it's like you're trying to exclude yourself and blame everyone else. I'm not even use the word people. I'm gonna be specific. The last generation of persons, particularly those who are 40 and 50 and 60 right now, those who are deep into the politics, who really believe that voting one way or the other is gonna benefit the future in some way, this particular set of persons really put us in a situation where we have absolutely nothing for ourselves. If we really want something, we have to go and be employed by most likely a foreign company or a foreign owned organization, and they will have to pay us some sort of what? Paper currency. They will be giving us some sort of paper currency so we can go and maybe save enough to live comfortably for the remaining of our working life. Now, what about this? Some might say, oh, this is the simple system where you get a job and you work and you have children and you die. Yeah, that's it. But here's where the trap and the prison shows itself. You get your house, your car, your job, your education, children, and then you're gone your way. But you actually putting your children to do that exact same thing. The only thing they really have is a house, a car, education, a job, and then they have to go. What that continuous repetitive cycle really, it only sets us up to continuously depend on the job system, to continuously depend on someone to give you paper cash so you can continuously purchase your existence from what, a market or something that is pre-organized. I'm not gonna even use supermarket because I love supermarket food, but it's there. I'm kind of targeting that when I said the purchasing your existence. Anytime the supermarket run out of food, you know what will happen. But not necessarily for here, because we grow our own food here anyway. But anytime in a certain place when the supermarket run out of food, what will happen? No people are gonna starve, no people are gonna start hungry, no people are gonna start killing for food. Because why? Them stuck in the city, inside the city blocks, inside of the prison system where the food doesn't grow on concrete. Anytime you see the trucks stop coming from the countryside to bring down produce, what's gonna happen? I no be here fighting, I no be here starvation. Well, I don't know. Maybe we might have a revolution where persons can band together and start to move towards the sources of food, which is in the countryside, and that would be an ideal revolution. That would be something ideal, and I'm really happy to see if that happens. As it is now, we're going through this thing called whatever, corona, whatever. We not have no time to study the intricacies of this new system. To me, what it is just another governmental order to determine when you can be on the road and when you cannot. It's really a system to keep you in control and to make sure that you are prepared to obey every command that is issued from your presidential office or electoral office and everything. And back to the government thing, since we're on the topic, what not sounding confusing, since we're on the topic of this government thing, I want to really point something out. Now people think that it's their president that is running their country. Fact of the matter is not your president that's running the country, because your president still has to answer to whatever court system. And I'm using the example of Guyana. Very recently, Guyana held the world record for the longest time without an elected president. And it was resolved by the judgment of the Caribbean Court of Justice or similar entities. I don't have the full detail now, I have to find that out. but it was resolved by an external body that was relevant not to Guyana but to a post-colonial order which is called the court system. And when you really go and look at the links of the influence of who controls this court order, it is still the northern British European monarchy. It's still there. When you look at who the presidents have to visit, have to answer to, whose laws they still have to observe and obey, it is still the northerners' law. They still have them under their little finger. The president might be big and bad and say what he wants on stage, on the television, in front of the press and the media. When he goes into his little box office, them still have to answer to whoever is above them, whatever is controlling them. I'm not even gonna bring into existence the thoughts of what is controlling the monarchy itself, because them thing there is for another what you call it? No, is the word level, but another that's a whole another topic, a whole another question of what really is controlling the minds of the monarchical so-called leaders of this Western prison system. Now back to the ground level, we fly a little bit and we land now. Come back to the ground level, I wanna point out that from a child born, from a picnic born, right? These mothers nowadays is just a baby. What we have to do, teach them the language they know. That's obvious. But then comes the separation. What is required, what has become necessary and deemed mandatory by your leader of the country, that is not really your leader. What has become mandatory? To send them away from your house, to send them to school, to make sure that you have minimal contact with them. Mothers nowadays have very little real contact with their children, so they don't really get the chance to nurture them and to grow them as a part of them. The majority of the time picnic is spent in the school system, learning what was preordained for them. What is being put into their head as so-called education is really simply obedience training for the workplace. It's really simply coding, the molding of the picnic head, so that you can churn out an entire population of persons who are ready and willing to observe any order, no matter what it is, simply for a large amount of pocket dollars or any amount. Sometimes it's necessary for survival. Sometimes persons nowadays only like to work so they can buy things. Back to the mothers them again. A generation of this has already come and gone and grown old. Persons who like to work so they can buy things, and really this again decreases the surface area of the time that they can spend with their family. It decreases the amount of time the woman can actually spend in the household, being nurturing, cooking food, trying to build a warm house, a warm home. They're working their entire life so they can buy this big house, this big car, and moving from here to there, so they can have something that fills their eyes and fills their stomach. This is not a judgment, it's simply a result of this prison system that we've been placed in. Understand? Now, with all of this working, right, the children are work, picnic are work, the mama them are work, father them are work, everybody are work. It's really, you have to work to survive, right? And it's become the accepted order of things that everybody must work in order to be able to eat. Think about it really. We've gone from thousands and thousands and thousands of years of community living, where we live with one another, to a new era where It's about each person individually trying to secure a box for themselves, not really paying attention to the fact that they will die and be put in a box and put into the ground anyway. And every single thing that you work hard for is gonna be left right behind here. And you know what the saddest part? Most of what that you wanted in your life, your children actually don't usually want it too. Look at the amount of empty big houses that are being left behind by old people right now. Why do you think they're being left behind? Because them don't want it, them now work for them own. If you work for your own big house and you train your picnic the exact same way, and the picnic work for him own big house, who is gonna inherit that building? You know who? Nobody. It's gonna go back to the bank and be sold off for a cheap price to somebody else. It might be used as a warehouse for a new business. So you spend your entire life missing your children's growth, work for a big box with windows, so that at the end of it, you leave it behind and you don't even know your own family. That's the reality, sadly, of most persons who are pursuing the high level, high advanced career system right now. It's a self-centered game. That is a judgment. It's a self-centered game. It's really about me having things, me having something where can benefit me and me and me and me. That's really what it's about, you know, and there's no going around that. And that mentality again comes from being inside of a system where we really have no choice but to grab everything that's there and move. When you're sitting down and you're surrounded by a box, there's a feeling of security. Yes, nobody can come and attack you. Well, they can, because too many persons cannot even defend themselves and spend the majority of the time at home worrying about whether a thief is gonna jump their fence to take everything that they work hard for. Sitting down in this lonely, dark, empty house, or well lit, bright and big, but are them alone and them television and them phone. Alright. I can see it happening and yo, it's sad, but what? The result of the prison system. Now stepping away from that reality, you know, because it only gonna hurt you more to think about and talk about. So what we really need to do is pursue a direction that can take us away from this. First and foremost, what I promote for this is sustainable living, because the main thing about survival, the main thing about the attraction to these city places, these blocks and these corners and roads and streets, the main attraction is really where you can eat at the end of the day, you know. It's really where you can eat, because if no food is here, and I'm using Venezuela for example, it's right next to Guyana. If no food is here, absolutely no food is in the city, nothing coming in. Nobody cannot stay in, because when you look up, you cannot pick a guava off of the concrete wall. Nothing grows on it other than algae. There's nothing to pick from a city. Nothing to reap. Everything belongs in a box or a plastic bag that is shipped from somewhere. So moving away from this is literally to look towards attaining a presence in the countryside where you have land and most importantly water. Moving along the rivers where we have streams coming off of it, creeks and that type of thing. where growing food is something simple and straightforward as a matter of flinging seeds into the mud and having a whole forest grow up in front of your your um your residence or behind your residence. It's really a matter of everyone redirecting a mentality towards what it really takes to survive, you know. And it's not hard at all, and it has been done tens of thousands of years before. Many times persons have moved from places where there was extreme drought to places where there are rivers and made it. That's the direction everyone should be taking to really come out of the black city mentality. You know, only rat and cockroach can survive out of water. You really don't want to end up being a rat or a cockroach. You want to be a bird, you want to be a goat, you want to be a cow. You don't want to be a chicken. Chicken cannot fly. So stop eating that. You know? You really can't hear like 1,000 chicken behind me because somebody have a chicken farm. I still eat chicken right now because why that's how I sell for now. That's how I did it for now. My white meat, fowl. But every day I try the strength to ease off of that. Some other meat or something after that. We still are eating food because why that's how I sell for now. We still are living in the prison system. We can't really do nothing better. Every meat are coming in a plastic container now, frozen. Who knows where it's coming from? Who knows what's in it? But we are eating. We are eating it. We are near the same way. And when we get sick now, you know, guess what? We run back to the middle of the city to find a hospital where they will tell you, say you have type 1 of this and type 3 of that. You don't know where you get it. You don't know where you get it. 50 years of meat and you don't know where you get it. You tell me no foolishness. Not even gonna talk about what them give you to cure that now. Tablets. You don't want too much people to talk about this right now. Too much people are getting off this right now. Not even going to reach the road enough. I'm not even going to diss the whole regime, which is the health unconscious versus the health conscious. Nothing wrong with meat, you see, but it's where the meat's coming from and when, how long it's been killed, and how often we consume it. And how it's been processed, because I see a video where them are, how them really do it. Them have the cow, them line up and I go through a machine. That was the milking one. Or them have the chicken, them line up and I go through a machine where automatically pluck them and chop off them head and grind them up and put it in a chicken nuggets. Though we buy a box of chicken nuggets the other day and we see it says slaughtered as per Islamic rights, and we can only hope say a human being will cut off the chicken head and at least give grace and thanks over the chicken. We can only hope for that to be a reality. But when you're busy working 9 to 5, who has time to check where you're getting the food from? You only know so it tastes nice. You know, enough somebody addicted to the taste buds. Yo, I'll give an example. I have a little bit of money the other day, go on the road. You have something important to buy. Never get to buy it because everything closed down early for this new government order regime virus. Now we're gone. We are go home. You know where somebody we used to close to me do? They want to take the money to buy fried chicken. Why? Not because I'm really hungry, no. Because I want to taste the fried chicken. Them just like the taste of it. Most persons addicted to the taste of things because it satisfies your pleasure centers for a moment, you know. You know, I really think about obese and fat people is not that there. It's not that. What I really think about it is like they're kind of addicted to the sensation of food going down the feeling of food. Yo, it's another topic. I try to do a straight stream and the amount of things that come to mind now. It's probably over an hour and a half. I don't know. 27 minutes, not too long. However, and that can be it, so that might actually be the breaking point because you see the taste buds, that might be what's driving so many persons to continue to stay within this system without even thinking about escaping it, without even having the ambition to walk out towards the source of real nutrients. It might really be the salty, crunchy bite of the chicken, the seasoning, nice, sweet, delectable taste of whatever ice cream, whatnot. These few pleasures that we have, that we can enjoy, might be what's keeping so many of us locked down and not even considering, you know. You can never mind the TV days done. Nobody now watch TV no more. Or the phone now. Never mind the phone, the conversations, we get talk and whatever. Communication has been around for a long time. Never mind that. It's really about what we can yum every day, about what tastes nice. Every now and then we can have the ice cream and chicken. Those businesses are always open. Everybody always a drive-through. Pizza. Ask somebody when feel like eat to the pizza. Pizza enough for nobody belly. It tastes nice though. It tastes really nice. It's lovely. Taste. Look like it come down to taste, so I really think, I really try to reason my way out of the depression that comes when I'm starting to think about this topic deeply. It might come down to taste, you know. Because if I tell somebody now, make we go up on the highway to find a piece of land and start plant up on. I mean, what's there? What is tasty about growing food and boiling corn and roasting bread? What's tasty about it? You know, we can season everything and everything, but the hard work, the work that's required to do that, the strict discipline that's required to formulate a new way of living, that discipline, the interest of it is not there for most of us. The interest of that discipline is not there yet. The willingness to completely let go of what tastes right to us now. I mean, we can't start with old people. Obviously, them soon dead. All respect to the elders, them soon gone. We can't do it. We can't start with the adults, them the one who are 40 and 50, because them already well integrated. Them love it. Them love the city. We can barely start with persons who are my age and little younger and everything. Can barely target them teens then now, because you know we can still influence one another like this. But we really have to push this type of willingness to. We really have to write books to. We really have to make movies to. We really have to build media to. We really have to hold classes to the really younger ones, the more 5, 6 and 7 years old, you know, because you see when you are those ages, that's where everything solidates in your mind. That's where your whole taste and your whole thought comes to being. By the time you reach 10 years old, that's when you're somebody. So really the younger ones, we have to target with the idea of moving away from this unsustainable way of life. Towards something that is what you can call it. It's hard to find words to describe what I'm looking for, because I've very barely had the experience of it. My grandfather was a farmer, but I never had the opportunity to even see a farm. It's hard to find it. You know, you try to manifest something, but you don't even know what you know what you really want, but you not even know, you know them thing there. Not even know where to look or where to begin. Simple matter of it, everybody I got say, you need money for this. You know, I talk to people about this already, and you know what's the response? You still need for work, because you still need money, because you still have to buy the things to start. That's how them say, you know. And you know what I do? I work and I find money. But you see, when you start to find the money start find everything else to buy except what you really want. Because when you work, let me tell you something about city now. Now people come from country and think, oh, them are go work hard and stuff in the country and whatnot. You see the strong window coming, it means I'm coming to a reason. Now people come from country and say, I'm come to town, come work. And that them are going to live a better life. But here's what really happens. You see, when you come to the city and start work, you might come in and your normal clothes where you have already. But all of a sudden you're going to realize that every single person is dressed absolutely better than you, and you are going to want to dress up too. So suddenly the shoes, them are going to be something necessary to buy. The pants are going to be something necessary. The shades, the hat, you are going to want a haircut every month, every week. Suddenly things are going to become more important than the original idea of living a better life. That's how it happens, you know. When now people are looking at it and say, oh, I'm going to work and save and live a reasonable, sustainable life. But when them start now, remember, say when you work, you spend about 9 of your hours away from your comfort zone. You spend about 9 of your hours mixing with persons who are really simply satisfied to be in the dependent position. So when you are working with them now, you are rub shoulder with everybody and it rub off on you too. And that's what happened to me. It rub off me start now after them tell me say you're gonna need money to start, so I start pay the money, alright. Multiple times that happened, I do that about 3 or 4 times. 3 times. Start pay the bread. But what happened? You know, catch me to start rub shoulder, everybody are dressing nice and clean and everyone haircut. And if me not cut my hair, really and truly, it's like nobody not even want to talk to you or look for you. It's like you know somebody if you're here now. If some barber not cut off your heritage. If it's not a bally, then somebody in this place. And that's how it really affects you. It affects you personally. It affected me personally. But every single time after a while, after about the first time was about 1 year and some months, second time was about 4 months. Every single time I reject it. I completely cut up and just say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with this edited living where everything up here I look some way, I'm not comfortable with it. So I stop. I come out of that zone because it really mads you. If you think you're trying to maintain consciousness while you're working in the city, think again. You really might have to be that one antisocial person that will only go into the system to complete your job and go home. And even to then, if you lock yourself down in the mentality and don't communicate with nobody, you always end up on a grind. When you spend 50 years doing the same thing in the same position, have no ambition, because you kill yourself. You kill off yourself doing that. And that me see and that me not want. Me not want to spend 50 years in a one spot for a try build some kind of legacy. What happened to me personally? How am I supposed to grow? How am I supposed to evolve mentally? How that's supposed to happen? You know? That's why I'm very young right now, I say, here what? No. Me I go look some people and the way we can walk out together and try to find something sustainable. That's really the motivation, that's really the way I feel happen. We don't know how it go happen, but it have to happen. Because we have to go look land somewhere and the way we have to go build house pan it somehow. And I know say house can build out of mud and stick and stronger than concrete. I know that. Because some of them concrete wall they are building now, if you take a sledgehammer and lift through it, gone. The whole wall done. I know that and I see that. And if you go lick the mud brick wall, nothing will happen. I know that. So nobody can come and tell me say you're not going to build the materials outside of this thing. Nobody cannot say that. That's foolishness because building materials are constructed out of natural products. Every single one of them. Down to the plastic. What do you think plastic means? Oil is what needs plastic and we don't really need plastic. You see me? So that's really the motivation for I can't go alone because I tried it already. I literally go out of my way to find space and start to try to construct something, but it never worked out. I never on me alone. I'm not old enough to hold down an entire middle of nowhere by myself. So after me and a whole heap of people are going to do it. I don't know how or where, but after me and a whole heap of somebody.